Hi everyone. Unit 13 is titled in At the Observatory. Observatory is a special place from which scientists notice or watch the moon, stars, and weather, etc. In exercise 1, how many planets are there in our solar system? Question 2, what can you learn about an observatory? Pause, then check your answers. Now you can check your answers for the first two questions. Before moving to question 2, let's state some facts. Our solar system includes the sun and some planets. Some of the planets have moons. Astronomers can look at the planets and stars through a telescope. Let's move to question 2. Read the website article and check your answers to exercise 1. Then, after reading, you're going to answer question 3 as well and decide whether these sentences are true or false. Read the text, pause to read the text and answer the questions. Then whenever you're ready, you can check your answers. Now you can check your answers for the last question in this page. Let's move to the following page. And in this grammar lesson, we're going to be continuing talking about reported speech. In question 1, underline the verbs. What do you think or what do you notice about the word order and tenses? Number 1, or I want you to read these questions and underline the verbs. Pause to underline the verbs. Then whenever you're ready, you can check your answers. And here are the answers. In the last unit, we were talking about how to report a statement and an imperative. In this grammar lesson, we are going to see how to report a question. Let's agree on a point, which is we're going to divide the questions into WH questions and yes-no questions or interrogative questions. Why we're stating this? Because there is slight difference. And let's start with the WH questions. Reported questions follow the same rules as reported statements. The tense changes to one step back into the past. The pronouns change according to the meaning, and we put the subject before the verb. And this is very important point, guys. The point of putting the subject before the verb. It could be tricky for some students. And this is not because it's difficult, but because you will think that it's a question, and the normal way of a question is what's your name, for example. So you have the question word, what, then the verb, then the subject. Yes, this is if we have the words in the direct form, but when we're changing it to be indirect form or when we're reporting this question, we're going to use the same question word, but now we're going to use it to link between the two sentences. I mean, we're going to say Salma asked me what, and then we are going to pause here and say that first is going to be was. Your will be my, and also we're going to change the order. I mean, if you're going to say Salma asked me what was my name, it will not be right. Instead, we should say Salma asked me what my name was. So we changed the place of subject and verb, because now we changed the question to be a sentence. Fine. So according to the order of a sentence, we put the subject, then the verb. When we're talking about the interrogative questions, for yes-no questions, we use if after the verb ask. Are you an astronomer? The student the students asked the professor. The students asked the professor if she was an astronomer. So simply, the difference between WH questions and interrogative questions is that in the WH questions we use the question word itself that we have. If the question was with what, we're gonna use what, when, we're gonna use when, and so on. But when we ask or when we report a yes/no question, we're supposed to link the two sentences with if. So again, the students asked the professor if she was an astronomer. And again, pay attention for the order of the sentence: subject, then verb. We can also use a question word after the verb ask and the object. For example, why are telescopes expensive? Asked Linda. Linda asked why telescopes were expensive. By saying this, we mean that asked could be followed by an object, and also we can skip mentioning the object. And you will notice this by comparing this question, which we read now, why are telescopes, and the previous question, or the first question, what's your name? Here we said Selma asked me, and in the following one we said Linda asked why telescopes without saying any object. Another example, what are you doing? Asked Rufaida. I asked Rufaida what she was doing. So as you notice, we have the reporting verb asked, and it's followed by an object, Rufaida. Then we used the question word what as a linking word. Then we changed the order of the sentence. Instead of saying where she doing, we're going to say she was doing. Of course, guys, when we change the pronouns, we're going to change the tense or the verb as well. Okay? Reporting verbs include wonder, ask, want to know. I mean, we can use either asked, wondered, wanted to know, and there are more. Now let's move to question 2. Report these questions. Now you're going to pause to answer these questions. Then whenever you're ready, check your answers. And here are the answers. On page 21, the function box targets asking polite questions like, could you please explain to me why I can't feel the earth turn? I wonder if you could tell me what a star is made of. I'd like to know if you like your job. Do you think we could come and see the observatory one day? Let's move to page 22 and answer question 1. Complete the polite questions, then match the questions and the answers. So you're going to pause to answer, then check your answers. Now you can check your answers. By moving to page 23, you're going to pause to answer these questions. Then, whenever you're ready, you're going to check your answers. The answers of question 1. And now the answers of question 2. Finally, the answers of question 3. By then, we have reached the end of the video, hoping it has been helpful to you.